Ladies and gentlemen, before I tell you anything today, let me start with a truth most people hate hearing. 98% of people fail, not because life is unfair, but because they choose the comfortable lie over the uncomfortable truth. Let me show you. Every morning your alarm rings, and in that tiny 3-second window, life hands you two options. Join the 2%, or join the 98%. And what do most people do? They slap the snooze button and surrender their day before it even starts. Here's a perfect example. Every January, millions buy treadmills like they're building a fitness empire. 2 days they run like Olympians. Day 3 it becomes a clothing rack. By day 7 it's a very expensive hanger. That is the 98%. Excited fast. Quit faster. Meanwhile, the 2%, they feel the same laziness, the same fears, the same Netflix temptation. But they treat their goals like a crying baby. Ignore it for a moment if you want, but eventually, you must get up and handle it. Look at Messi. With all his talent, he still stays after training, practicing free kicks long after everyone else leaves. Look at Taylor Swift. She doesn't dominate by luck. She writes daily, edits endlessly, rehearses every detail until perfection is the only outcome. They all share one thing: consistency when nobody is watching. That's how you join the 2%. Think about this. Someone says, I'm going to learn editing. They watch 10 tutorials. But don't edit even one clip. They want mastery without the messy reps. Or someone says, I'll save money. Day 1 saved. Day 2 saved. Day 3 sees a shoe discount and collapses their entire financial plan in 5 seconds. Most people are stopped by 3 killers. Excuses, emotions, ego. Excuses whisper, not today. Emotions say, I don't feel like it. Ego says, I already know this. That's why they stay exactly where they are. Look around you. The people winning today aren't always superstars. They're ordinary people with extraordinary discipline. The friend who quietly walks 20 minutes a day and loses weight without posting a single selfie. The student who studies 1 hour daily and tops the exam while everyone else panics the night before. The person who saves small amounts every month while others wait for a perfect time that never comes. These tiny, glamorous habits build the 2%. Meanwhile, the 98% treat motivation like a bus. If it comes, I'll start. If you wait for inspiration, you'll wait your whole life. Success isn't loud. It's not fireworks. It's the small decisions you make when no one is watching. Part 2. Small choices that build or destroy your life. People don't fail suddenly. Failure sneaks in quietly, one tiny decision at a time. Someone decides to get fit, buys a yoga mat, downloads an app. Day 1, full fire. Day 2, still okay. Day 4, the mat becomes a laundry stand. The app becomes an icon they scroll past, or someone starts saving. Sure, today, sure may end tomorrow. Then one invitation, one deal, one impulse, and the plan disappears. Or someone tries learning a skill. They watch 10 tutorials and think they're experts, but avoid practicing even one painful, imperfect attempt. That's the 98% in action. Tiny habits quietly eating away progress. But the 2%? They don't wait for moods or motivation. They just show up. Every day. Even when it's boring. Especially when it's boring. Chris Hemsworth didn't wake up looking like Thor. He trained daily even on the days he didn't want to. Emma Chamberlain didn't become a top creator overnight. She posted messy videos to tiny audiences. Learned editing alone. Showed up every day. And time rewarded her consistency. Even your neighbor who walks 20 minutes daily understands it. Small actions compound into big results. The 2% aren't superhuman. They just use the same 24 hours differently, while the 98% wait for the perfect mood. The 2% build routines that don't depend on mood, while the 98% are controlled by comfort. The 2% control their environment and their habits. Your life is shaped by your default settings. If your default is scrolling, you'll live a scrolling life. If your default is excuse-usual, live an excuse-filled life. If your default becomes small, consistent action, you'll join the 2% without even noticing. The 2% don't reject comfort. They simply refuse to be ruled by it. Part 3. The mindset shift that separates the 2%. Most people fail because they think success will magically happen. They want fitness without sweat, growth without effort, success without sacrifice. They imagine, instead of executing. The 98% say, I'll start tomorrow. And tomorrow becomes next week. Next week becomes next month. Next month becomes next year. You know someone like this? They say, I'll eat healthy. Day 1, they buy groceries and post it on Instagram. Day 2, they make a salad, buried under cheese and dressing. Day 3, they order pizza, or they say, I'll clean my inbox, delete 20 emails, get distracted by a meme. Suddenly, they're back to 5,000 unread messages. Or they say, I'll talk to that client, ask for that raise, pitch that idea. And fear quietly takes over. They scroll TikTok for 30 minutes, then Instagram, then YouTube. And just like that, the opportunity disappears, leaving them stressed, frustrated, and confused about why nothing changes. Meanwhile, the 2% do something simple but life-changing. They act immediately. Messy, imperfect, nervous, lazy, scared. They act anyway. Because the 2% understand a truth most people never learn, magic isn't in big moves. It's in tiny actions done daily. Think about a new content creator. While others wait for perfect lighting, perfect ideas, perfect timing, the 2% just post one small video every day. Messy or not. And slowly an audience forms. Opportunities appear, momentum builds, or someone learning a language. Instead of waiting for a weekend class, they practice for 5 minutes each morning. By the end of the month, they're speaking basic sentences, while the 98% are still planning to begin. Even ordinary life shows you the difference. The neighbor who waters plants daily ends up with the best garden on the street. The friend who journals 5 minutes a day becomes clearer and calmer than those drowning in stress. The colleague who takes tiny notes each day improves faster than the one who tries to learn everything in one shot. Ladies and gentlemen, this is the 2% mindset. Action beats motivation. Tiny steps beat excuses. Consistency beats inspiration. You don't need the perfect plan. You don't need the perfect mood. You don't need the perfect moment. You just need to start today with something so small it feels almost silly, because that is exactly how momentum begins. Part 4. Daily habits of the 2% you can start today's. Mindset matters. But mindset without habits is like a car without fuel. The 2% win because of small, boring, invisible habits that stack like interest and quietly build a future. Here's what they do differently. 1. They track small wins, not giant achievements, tiny ones. Replying to one important email, clearing 5 items from a to-do list, drinking 1 extra glass of water. These micro wins create momentum too. They eliminate distractions. Most people lose hours to email, scrolling, and YouTube. But a single 5-minute action could solve half their problems. The 2% protect their focus. Notifications off, timer on. Mind sharp. 3. They build micro-dash routines. Not I'll work out an hour. They start with 10 push-ups. Not I'll read a whole book. They'll read 1 paragraph on the bus. Tiny routines that feel easy but grow huge over time. 4. They learn in small bites, not hours of intense study. Just 10 to 15 minutes a day, 1 new word, 1 line of code, 1 sketch. Slowly, consistency becomes mastery. 5. They reflect every night. The 98% complain. The 2% review. What worked? What didn't? What do I adjust tomorrow? Even 5 minutes of reflection saves months of wasted effort. Let me make it real. Your friend wants to cook. The 98% scroll cooking videos all day. The 2% pick 1 recipe, make it, mess it up, try again. A month later, they're hosting dinner parties. Your colleague wants to be organized. The 98% overplan and never begin. The 2% tidy one, small corner each night. A month later, their workspace is spotless. Your neighbor wants to save money. The 98% wait for the right moment. The 2% save $2 a day. A year later, they have savings they didn't even notice building. Ladies and gentlemen, here's the truth. The 2% don't have more talent, more time, or more luck. They simply have better habits, small, consistent, repeatable habits. And the best part? You don't need to do everything. Just pick one tiny habit. Start today, repeat tomorrow, and watch your life tilt in a new direction. Part 5, the final step. Ownership. We've talked about mindset, action, and habits. But now comes the final step. The step that separates the 2% from everyone else's ownership. The 2% take full responsibility. They stop blaming their boss, the traffic, the economy, their parents, or their Wi-Fi. They stop waiting for motivation or opportunity to knock. They create it. Think about it. Someone's email inbox explodes. The 98% complain, stress out, and scroll memes to escape. The 2% breathe, sort one email at a time, and end the day ahead. Someone wants better social skills. The 98% wait until they feel confident. The 2% start talking to one person, a day awkward or not. Confidence grows with use, not wishful thinking. Even in small things, your phone is full of unread notifications. The 98% get overwhelmed and ignore it. The 2% answer one message, delete one app, clear one small thing. 90 wins. Stacking like a hidden superpower. Ownership transforms habits into momentum. Once you own your choices, excuses lose their power. Laziness loses its grip. Comfort stops controlling your future. The 2% aren't perfect. They fail, they procrastinate, they get distracted, but they snap back fast. They fix it, adjust, and move forward. And here's the final truth. Your life today, your health, your money, your skill, your happiness, is the result of the small choices you consistently made or consistently avoided. So here's your challenge, simple and powerful. Pick one small action today. Do it. Own it. Repeat it tomorrow. And sooner than you think, you'll find yourself among the 2%. Ladies and gentlemen, the difference between the 98% and the 2% isn't talent, luck, or opportunity. It's the courage to take small actions and the maturity to take full ownership of your life. You already have everything you need. All that's left is to start. And the moment you start, you're no longer the 98%. You're in the 2%. Thank you for listening. And don't forget to like and subscribe, my friends.